here. Thank God it's Friday. So I hope everyone's doing good. Good news, bad news. We'll start with the bad news. Bad news is my Wi-Fi system is not ready. So today the video might get a little choppy, but that is something that we are working on. So hopefully in the future, we won't have a drop signal inside the building and I could walk around and show you guys, all the cool fish we got. So I'm going to roll with it today, hoping that, the Wi-Fi, actually 5G, 4G, whatever it's going to be on, holds up. I'm going to let some people get on. All right, David's on. What's up, David? Says his fish came in doing great. That's great. I'm glad we were able to get them on there, and I'm glad that we got those Taiwan reef males that you were looking for. So, and hopefully the bleaker eye pair you ordered, the two fish are a pair. That's what we're hoping for. So, so good. It's always a stressful time of year shipping. It's another cold front coming in, so a lot of areas are too cold to ship or borderline. So, don't be mad at us if you order and we're like, hey, we can't ship your order yet because we don't want to ship them out, with it being too cold. But just so you know, we ship out in the extreme cold. But when I say extreme, some of you people, I think you live in Antarctica, because it's like when it gets down into the low teens or single digits, that's just too cold. So, but low 20s, even into the high teens for the low. Those are doable for us. I mean, we use insulated boxes, heat packs, not a problem. And another good news is that UPS is back on schedule with getting the guaranteed delivered by time back to normal. So most packages are getting there by 10 a.m., if not by noon. So that's a good thing, because we don't want them riding around in that big brown truck all day, especially when it's cold. I'm going to flip it around. I haven't got really too many updates with the display tanks. My plan today was to add some more rock piles. You can see that boops in there, the male all fired up, colorful. You can see this male looking really nice. I really need a backdrop so you guys can see the fish better. But you can see the big fonts. We're going to end up doing some different rock pile structures, just so I can start adding more, Tanganicans to the tank. The shoulder severum, the Raquels, were trying to breed the other day, but they ended up not laying eggs. I almost think that there might be too much activity in the tank right now for them to breed. I did take a couple of bigger Savannae out. But you can see these are two males. That's the female down there next to them. Let's see if I get them all on the same screen. You can see. So it's two males and one female. I might end up taking one of the males out just so it's a male and a female, because sometimes when fish are trying to breed, if you got two males fighting over a female, they never get to lay eggs because they're constantly chasing each other. But they're doing good. The Juraparis are doing good. We ended up getting at least 100 babies from the Juraparis about a month ago. So those guys are looking good. I'm trying to get that where it'll focus on that Jurapari. Not having any luck. Here's another one of them. We did add a Heckelei pair to the tank. So there's the male Heckelei. We're not going to breed the Heckelei. We're just growing them up to get a better picture for the website. I got a friend locally that breeds those guys and does a really good job. So, and then the cardinal tank. You can see the cardinals really good. The Machinapura angels are starting to get some red on them, so that's exciting. I've actually got some of these for sale, but I'm waiting to sell them until I could grow them up big enough to get some color, because when they're small, they look just like a kind of a standard silver angel. And then we got the Royal Farewellas. Those guys are doing good. Oh, I got to show you something. Um, the Adolphi Cories. So we brought in some wild ones from Colombia. They were really expensive. And, you know, it's a pretty big investment for people to buy them. So I know why they haven't sold really fast, because they were really expensive to bring in. It's a pretty rare Cory, even from the wild. They're just not very prolific. But I walked by this tank a while ago and actually saw them breeding. So I'm excited about that. It's, let's see if I can show you the eggs. If you look on that piece of Java moss, you'll see, hold on. You see the little white specks. Let's see if I can get it right below my finger. There's a bunch of eggs, and I actually saw some on the front of the glass right here. So I thought it was pretty cool that they bred in the tank. So excited about those. We got some other Cories that will be going on. We did put a lot of new stuff on the website this week, and we're going to keep adding stuff as it becomes ready, because we don't start selling them until they're 100% healthy. Like, I know the Cardinals are up. Those guys have been doing really, really well. So if you're looking for Cardinals, we got some really nice Cardinal tetras in stock, doing well. Let's go through, show you some of the Severums. We're sold out of the 3 to 4 inch Rockells, but we got this batch in that's going to be going up this week, and these guys are looking really nice. So tank's a little dirty on the outside because they just got a water change on them. These are going to be more of the 4 to 5 inch range. So this afternoon we're going to be putting those big guys up. I don't like shipping them that big, because we've got to like triple bag those things. They're very difficult because they poke holes, but they look really nice at that size. And then we got the green turquoise. These guys just came in from the grow out pond. They're still a little bit skittish, but you can see a couple of them starting to get some really good colors. So, all right, let me get set up. So I know I saw a bunch of questions and shout outs coming in. So let me set this up on. Oh, there's the electric blue cars. Those guys are doing really good. I'm pretty well stocked on those guys now. I'll set it up on the Savenni. So this is the 3 to 4 inch Savenni. And then I'm gonna go through some of these shout outs. Dylan, what's up? Just Aquatics, what's up? Dylan says his angels are doing good. Nice. Dan Coach, good morning. Rays, what's up? Caroline, hello from chilly, windy Bradenton. Yes, it's going to be getting cold in Florida. I think they're talking about getting down to like 35 tonight for the low. Lorenzo, he said he wanted just to let us know the 4 to 5 inch pink red dominant dragon blood came in, beautiful, healthy, and greatly appreciate what you and your crew do for the hobby. That makes me feel good. I love it because, you know, we don't put like red/pink, you know, name unless it is that color. And we actually had one customer that UPS delayed his shipment, and it took 2 days. The fish showed up alive, but he was a little disappointed that the color, you know, was not good. And I told him just to give it time, make sure that the fish is in a good, healthy environment, and the colors will come back out. So that's not unusual for a fish during shipment to lose its colors. And usually it takes some, you know, time to recover and get used to the new environment before the colors start coming out really good. But glad to know that we were able to get those guys out, um, and that they're already showing good color. So electric blue Texas. This is a fish that we used to breed, and we noticed some, like, they weren't that blue. So we ended up getting some new stock, and we realized just how important it is to selectively breed these guys, because it is a man-made variant. But the electric blue Texas we've got now are stunning fish. They're really, really nice. So we got some marble Veltail angels. Those guys are looking nice. We got some albino Oscars. Not much color on those guys, but they're just starting to get some good colorations. The red spotted Severums, all we have are small ones right now, but those guys have been doing really good, very healthy. You can even start seeing some of the nice red spotting come out on them. What else we got here? I'm gonna go through. Dan Coate is asking for any Jack Dempsey's 3 to 4. No 3 to 4, but the next time we order, because I stopped breeding them, but I've got a friend locally that is breeding them now, and I will try to get some bigger ones in. Right now, all we have are 1 to 2 inch size. So, and they don't have much markings, you know, coloration at that smaller size. Pretty cool to watch them go through that transformation, but I'll try to get some bigger Jack Dempseys next time. And also on the Jaguars, we get asked a lot for bigger Jaguars, so I'll try to bring in some bigger ones. Plants are doing really good. I think I talked about it on a previous one. We changed our lighting, so we've got better grow lights for our plants, and they're doing really, really well. So I've been real happy with the plants now that we've got our setup doing a lot better. And you can see some of the blueberry shrimp in there swimming around. But we got lots and lots of plants available now, and this is one of my favorite is the red tiger lotus. These things are really, really nice. And I was one that I was guilty of not having success with plants, and I didn't realize that my lighting, even though it said it was for plants on my home aquarium, was not sufficient, you know. So it's definitely worthwhile, if you're going to do plants, to make sure you got something that's got a good light spectrum that, you know, allows the plant to grow. Because we saw a big difference when we added these plant lights to our selling section. It's been a lot better for the plants. They're just growing like crazy. In fact, they're growing too fast, and we're having to trim them up. So, all right, I'm gonna turn these lights on to the rainbow section. Got a new rainbow that we're letting out for the first time this week. We sold some in the past. Let me find out what tank they put them in. It is, all right, the Sungai Clausum, Malatinia Frederick. And these are some that I personally collected with Hans Evers when we went to Birdhead Island. It's been about 4 years ago now, and we sold some in the beginning, and then we saved the rest up for breeders, and now those guys are breeding pretty prolifically. But if you look at the picture on the website, they're stunning fish, especially when they get into breeding dress. So we got the Jubilee, Snapper Creek. Those guys are looking really nice. I think, you know, these fish are only going to get more and more popular as people, you know, get used to them. This is still a fairly new rainbow. And with the peacock gudgeons, these guys are getting more and more popular. There's a dwarf neon in there with them. But this is what we recommend for bottom cleaners to go with the rainbow tanks. We got the turquoise rainbows. Some of those males are starting to color up really, really nice. The rainbows are just getting more and more popular with the aquarium hobby. They're just such good aquarium fish. They have spectacular colors. They don't kill each other like some of the Africans. And they're just peaceful. Like, I did see a comment, somebody asked, what do you keep in your home aquarium? I actually was keeping a rainbow tank that, you know, I had like Bosemani, yellow rainbows, Bosemani, Doherty, just a mixture of all different types. And about 2 weeks ago, I tore the tank down, removed all the fish, and brought them over here to the warehouse to send out to sell, because I'm going to end up doing another rainbow tank, but this time I'm going to go with like a specific species, so I won't have an assorted rainbow tank. I'm going to have one of these new varieties that we brought in recently, and I'm going to grow them up and breed them in my tank at the house. So kind of excited about that, because I could get my kids involved with, you know, watching them grow up and then actually breeding them. And then I could document the breeding, you know, by taking pictures. And because we got a lot of new rainbow types. These guys are still skittish. This is the multi-squamata. The good thing about that is we've got males and females of the multi-squamata. For the longest time, we were like, man, you know, they all look the same. We can't sex them. And come to find out that the breeder was only sending us males in the beginning, and now he's got lots of females. So I'm like, hey, make sure you send me males and females, because, you know, in my opinion, these rainbow species do better with males and females in the tank. If you want them to really color up the way you see them in our tanks, then you keep them with males and females, and that's what you get. In fact, you know, a lot of people like to have a mixture of fish of different colors. If you go, you know, get deep in the hobby, most of your hardcore fish keepers that are like top notch, you won't see them mix fish in their tanks. They're, you know, maybe like one species of rainbow, and then in the bottom they're going to have, you know, peacock gudgeons or bushy nose or something in the bottom. You see these yellows right here. These guys are really nice. So we love rainbows. Oh, another one that we finally got back in are the albino millenniums. The males are just starting to show color, so they're not like quite big enough to show a lot of bright colors, but they are big enough to sex even at this size. So these guys will be going back up on the website very, very soon. So that's good news, because it was almost like, I don't know, a month or longer with us being out of them. Dactari, excited about these guys. These are some that we're breeding in-house. Really nice fish. In fact, somebody was asking, you know, hey, do you have any Mabunas that you could sex? And I'm like, hey, the Dactaris would be a good one, because those are easy to sex for us, male and female wise. The Swedish red top hungies. These guys are a little skittish, but even at this size, you can see that they got a really nice blaze on them. And we have these Masonite Chitimba as a trio on the website, and I want to say they're marked down quite a bit because we don't have any other bigger ones like this for sale. So if somebody's wanting a breeding trio, there's a really nice male and 2 females that I put up on the website the other day. Another fish I'm excited about is we finally got the white labs up for sale. You can see, let's see if I can get close enough. They're a little skittish, but I'm excited that we finally, these are some that we brought in from Germany last year, and it's just taken us, a long time to get them up to breeding size and get production. But this will be the first ones that we're offering on the white labs, and the white labs are really nice fish and not very common. I'm gonna keep it on the gold ocellatus tank. To me, this is the most colorful of the shellies, and that's the gold ocellatus. We are only selling them in packs of 5. I might eventually change that to 2 packs or 3 packs, but the reason you see sometimes that the fish are only offered in groups of 3 or more is that they are meant to be kept in groups of 3 or more. So we kind of force people, hey, if you're going to buy this fish, you really need to keep it in a small colony, because they're very social little guys. And if you want to truly enjoy the fish, buying one of them isn't the right answer, because those guys will not be happy just being by themselves. So, but we might end up offering them in packs of 2 or 3, because I do think if you got a nano tank and you put 3 little shellies in there, I think they would be happy. So so that's something you might see us start changing on our shellies, is where you don't have to buy a 5-pack. But really a 5-pack is ideal, because then you're going to get males and females, and they don't take up a lot of tank space. So that's why keep 5 of them in a 10-gallon tank and keep them happy. Somebody had asked, I didn't see the name, but for the 129 Plecos, these are some that we brought in from Colombia. One of my favorite Hypensistrius. I think they're way underrated in the hobby, because to me they look just as colorful as L333s, as L270s. They are really nice, and they don't get very big. So we actually, because we like the fish so much, we actually breed some of them in-house, and at times you'll see us offer F1s, out of our breeding group. Another nice thing about the 129s is that the barring is always different. The lines are never the same. So so if you're into Hypensistrius, and don't expect these guys to clean your tank though, because they are not tank cleaners. This is a fish that we haven't listed them yet, because we need to get a picture of them. This is the gold dust Letica bushy nose. These are wild caught from Colombia. Really, really happy with the size. In fact, I'm probably going to pull a couple of these out and put them in our show tank. But it's a black bushy nose with white spots all over them. And the size of these guys are really, really nice. So they're sold from Colombia as gold dust. And you can see all the little white gold spots on them. So these guys will be going up as soon as we get a picture. It's not easy to get a picture of these guys because they like to hide, but we'll get a picture of them and get them up on the website. The Bolivian Rams, those guys came in with that last endo order. Those guys are selling really well. I love these guys. Very peaceful, not aggressive, and they got really nice colors. So they get bigger than some of the other dwarf rams. They get considerably bigger than a German or black ram, but really nice. This is another one. It's the L75s. These guys came in really beat up in the bag just from stressing. I don't like receiving big fish, and I don't like shipping big fish. I actually had ordered a much smaller size, and they sent me these big guys. So we've had to hold them. I think it's going on a month now, and just getting them, where they're recovered from the shipping stress before we start selling them. You'll see me say that a lot, because we do not like thinning out fish unless they're 100% healthy. And that's why you'll see us hold on to fish for quite some time. There's some of the black rams there, and these came from Indonesia, and you could see some of the black on them, like more so than a German, but I wasn't really impressed with the strain. Um, I feel like the black rams that we're breeding here are better than the ones that I brought in from overseas. Got the electric blue Jack Dempseys. The nice thing about these electric blue Jack Dempseys are they are some of the hardiest electric blue Jack Dempseys that I've ever had. Like the breeder that bred these has worked in new wild genetics into the electric blue Jack Dempsey strain. One thing that I notice is at a small size, these guys are not as colorful as most of the other strains of electric blue Jack Dempsey, but that's because the bigger they get, the more colorful they get. And what's nice about it is that we're not seeing all the like health problems with this strain that we do see with the other strains. So I don't think we put these guys up yet, but they will be going up very, very soon. And like I said, genetic wise, these are a lot hardier of a fish, and they're not like, you know, crazy blue at this size, but the bigger they get, the more blue they get. We got albino Hecli right here. Excited about, you know, these were brought in from my friend that breeds them overseas, but we are getting them to breed here at Imperial finally. Like we got our first batch of eggs last week, and those guys did not hatch, but that's not surprising because usually when a fish first reaches maturity, the first batch of eggs are not fertile. So the first batch wasn't, but it was good news that they at least started to breed. The tank is a little stirred up because we just did a water change, but this is the Pseudomagul neon blue eye, and this is actually a brackish water rainbow that when we first brought them in from Indo, they're really rare. I did not have the salinity high enough, and they did not do good in the beginning, but now we're got the salinity dialed in. I think it's right at 15 ppt, and we're just using the saltwater salt. You could use rock salt, but I do like the saltwater manufactured salt. It's not very expensive, and it's cool because we started getting babies already. Carly has been taking care of these guys, and she put the mop in there last week. They stay really, really small, and I don't even think my camera are going to pick them up because they're so small. But if you Google that fish, I think you'll be impressed. It's really, really a stunning fish. What else do we have? Well, I'm just going to hold this on the Congo tetras, and I'm going to go through some of these questions. Ahmad says he wants the mason eye. Hey, it's yours. Just, I've got some other fish held back for you, so let's get them down to you. Tell me when you're ready. I know you were going on a trip, so whenever you are ready, just let me know and I'll get you a nice male. So, and I've got more in the breeding room, so even if that trio sells, you know. Let's see. Allison says the peacock, the dragon blood, the red one's doing great. Nice. All right, David's getting on. I'll tell him to hit that like button. All right. All right. I'm glad that the signal's been better. All right. So I'm down. Dan Coate is saying, thank you, Ahmad, for the heads up on Facebook. And I mean that, Ahmad. You guys are just awesome. So whoever watches this video, if you're not in our Facebook community group, Imperial Tropicals Fish Keepers, if you want to be around some amazing fish keepers that are passionate I recommend joining the group because it's been just a wonderful experience, and everybody is very kind to each other. You don't have all the bickering that you have in a lot of the other, fish groups on Facebook, and it's all about the fish and being respectful for each other. So thanks everyone that's in the Facebook group that helps each other out. All right, I'm gonna go back to Dan Coate is asking if I need a breeding pair of convicts. No, we had them. We had probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 different types of convicts, but even though I love convicts, they just are too prolific, and they also get really aggressive, and they sold decently, but if I did do any of the convict types, I probably would do more of the wild type convicts. I know there's the luteus type. This is the Honduran, the true, not the blue Honduran. These were brought from some wild stock. But yeah, no, I don't. I'll pass. I got to be very selective with which fish I keep, So, but they're wonderful fish. I love them, but they could be aggressive. A lot of times the convicts are what kind of gets people into the hobby because they get a pair, they breed them, and then they get into the whole aspect of raising up babies. And that's what I try to tell people when they talk about, like, hey, it's an expensive hobby. I'm like, well, why don't you breed them? And you could trade off the extra fish for credit at stores, or sell them to local hobbyists. Or trade them. There's a lot of that happens in the fish hobby, and it helps pay for our hobby. That's kind of what I do, is I sell fish for a living to pay for my hobby. So, all right. I'm not even going to show you the albino Oscars that are for breeders, because they're just so nice that we can't sell them. We're going to grow them up and breed them. Then we got the pea puffers. Those guys are really popular. Love the pea puffers. What else we got here? We got the yellow Congo tetras. Those guys are starting to color up nicely. And I do think they sent us some females this time. Like, normally we get all males, but I see some in there that do look like females. So, what else we got? All right, Daniel was asking about the 129, so I showed you those guys. Love those 129s. All right, lens on. Sorry I'm late. That's all right. Yep, Daniel's talking about the albino Cichlids. They are stunning. This is kind of unusual. I actually sold one of these guys yesterday to one of our regular customers. This is the red tiger Severums. Probably, well, it's not probably, it's for sure our most sought after fish on the waiting list, the email out of stock list. We have lots and lots of people waiting for these guys, and every time we order them, they send us big guys, and I don't like shipping big guys. Like, first of all, they're too liable to bust the bags and leak and everything else. But right now, I believe we got 1 male and 2 females, and I'm not sure how much longer I can keep them in this tank. But my plans are, once it warms up, take them down to the greenhouse to where the water conditions are a lot warmer, and I've got some big tanks set to the side. Let me scroll down here with this ladder, and I'll show you one of the big guys. But the red tiger Severums are by far the most aggressive Severum that I've kept. And every time we've tried to breed them, the male ends up like killing the female. So we're going to dedicate one of the big above ground pools to breeding him, and that way there's plenty of spots for the female to get away from the male. Got to take the lid off, but they like hiding in the pipes. Let's see. if I get him to turn around. There we go. Really nice fish. And the wild caught ones, they are always more timid. That's one reason I want to breed them, because I think tank raised are a lot better suited for aquariums, because that's all they've ever known. So that's another. I think both these big guys are males too. See if I get him to spin around. And these guys were fighting. That's why we ended up putting the divider in the tank. Get that. All right, let's see. And then the red chilies. So I'm glad that we held on moving these out to the grow out pond, even though it was covered, because I feel like we would have lost them this winter if we did, because it just got really, really cold right around Christmas time. Show you some of the peacocks. These guys are looking really, really nice. Albino dragon bloods. You got the Turkish. Those guys are starting to color up nicely. And then SP44s. Love that fish. They're very feisty, but I never see them like fight to the death. They're always like, you know, kind of like German blue rams, where they just a lot of bravado, but they don't hurt each other. Labassis. Those guys are looking really nice. Let's see. The electric blue friar eye. See, this is from the German line, and one thing I noticed that's different about these friar eye, are they don't color up at a small size like the old aquarium strain did. But when they do color up, they look stunning, but they don't seem to color up at such a small size. Nairi, those guys are beast. This is the Mallory Island. Those guys have been selling really, really well. Really like those guys. And this cold that we've been having has really affected us bringing in fish from the grow out ponds, because when it gets cold like this, we can't handle the fish. So, you know, I think after this next cold snap that we're having this weekend, maybe next week, it's supposed to be back up into the low 80s, and we'll get some more fish in. So, all right. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Make sure I didn't miss any questions. James Smith is on. What's up, James? He's asking which peacock that was. You know, that was in an assorted tank, so they probably couldn't tell when it was in there, but it actually, to me, it looks like it's not a Walter eye. So they've been selling these as the assorted, and what they do is they bring them up here if we're not like exactly sure which peacock it is. But yeah, there's so many blue ones with that looks like a red flush. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up, everyone. So thank you for joining me today. Hopefully the video stream was a lot better quality, and we're going to be doing more of this. I know I went live last Friday, and I'm like, hey, I want to go live again this Friday. So I'm going to try to make it an every week thing. Don't hold me to it. But one thing we are going to be bringing back is we're going to start doing some more giveaways. As soon as the weather starts clearing up a little bit, we're going to start hand picking some nice fish out and doing some Facebook giveaways like we did in the past. So we hadn't done it recently because we've just been so busy with getting orders out. So just kind of look for that coming back. We're going to try to do more as far as that goes, just to show you guys our appreciation. So everybody have a safe weekend, and we'll talk at you next time. Thank you.